read your model text from yesterday for us and from Friday, if you are at home. The importance of evacuations, there was a simpler version and a bit more tricky version as well. So we are looking at these words, and you're trying to find these word classes in your model text. Let's quickly run through what they are. So adverbials we did yesterday. What is an adverbial? We just did it. Chloe?
It's a word that
describes a adverbial. Yeah, so it adds extra information to a verb, doesn't it? That's called an adverb. An adverbial is a little bit of sometimes a phrase, and if it's called a fronted adverbial, it means it goes at the front of the sentence, at the beginning of the sentence. Yesterday, last week, on Wednesday, they're fronted adverbials. They're telling you when it happened. Okay, can you find an adverbial in your model text? Have a look through. Can you find an adverbial in your model text? Whoa. Anyone found one?
I think I might
Got them?
With the fairy tale sentence.
You will, by now, have received. Yeah, you can by now. Yeah. Ryan?
There's the first sentence on the third paragraph.
Furthermore, it cannot be denied. Yeah, well done. Right, next one. It's supposed to be quick fire. I'm supposed to know. Right, determiner. What's a determiner? We did this earlier on in the week. It quantifies. It talks about a noun, doesn't it? It goes before a noun or an adjective and noun. So, a big red bus. The big red bus. My big red bus. Her big red bus. So, a determiner might tell you how many, might tell you some, might tell you who it belongs to, possession as well. So who has found a determiner in their model text?
The government.
The government, well done. Now actually, Chloe, that is an article, because remember, an article is a type of determiner, and it's basically just those three. A, the, and an, they are articles, but they are types of determiner. Okay, so you've kind of done the next one as well. I'm sure there was somewhere in some children. Your child. Yeah? Even in the first one. A mother's sphere would be an article, wouldn't it? Like you say, the government. Any more? Yes, your child quite a lot. They're using the your child because they're talking in the model text. They're trying to talk to the person. This because you're trying to persuade. You're talking to the person, saying your child, trying to give them a feeling of knowing them and knowing about what their life is. Verb. What is verb? Doing or feeling words. You can find me a verb. Come on, quick. Regarding. First line. You're from the government regarding the evacuation. Yeah, you're regarding something. Another way of kind of looking for something, isn't it? A mother's fear. Is fear a verb? If you're afraid? Do you think? Yeah? Is it feeling? Is it a doing or feeling word? Fear is a feeling. Sending is also a verb, isn't it? You're sending someone away is the thing you're doing. Right, what about pronoun? Pronouns replace a noun, so it could be he, she, they, and we talked about they, we just talked about determiners, didn't we? Go on then, Chloe.
It's in the fourth paragraph. They have encountered local wildlife.
Tell me again.
They have encountered a local.
Yeah. Pronoun, they, the pronoun is they, isn't it? Any more? There's not really any he, she's in there, is there? Which you would normally think for a pronoun. Why do you think there isn't anything like he, she in there? Yeah.
Is it because it's like being formal and talking to you, not
It's been informal. It's been formal, talking to the person, the reader of the letter. The author is talking to the reader of the letter, but it's not about a specific person, is it? It's to everybody in the country. This is for everybody, or people in the cities at least, to evacuate. So it's not like I was writing to you, and I would say, you'd know who I was talking about. So. Percy, and then I change it to he. It's not, it's talking general, isn't it? So there's more general things in there, more general phrases. Noun, what is a noun? Person, place, or thing. There must be hundreds of nouns in there. Go on then. Tell me one.
Government.
Government, yeah, tell me another one.
Children.
Yeah, tell me another one.
Country.
Yeah, tell me another one.
Child.
Yeah, tell me another one.
Mother.
Perfect. Loads. Right, conjunctions. Subordinate or coordinate? So think fanboys or a white bus. So remember, coordinating is joining two sentences or phrases that have equal importance. Subordinate means the second part is not as important as the first part, so it's more about giving extra information. So you can find a because, if you could find an and. I mean, you've got an and to join the words in the list at the beginning, haven't you? The more pressing fear of death and destruction we now face here in the city. Have you found one? Yep.
Is at one.
Where's the sentence?
Top of the second paragraph. A mother's fear at sending that.
No, no, not in that instance. Good, well done, Dan. Good try.
On the very last sentence, on the first word, I found an and.
Yeah. In summary, whilst the government do accept and appreciate a mother's anxiety, so both those phrases have equal importance. So and is coordinating conjunction, isn't it? So maybe the challenge is to find if we have got any subordinating conjunctions in there. Okay. Right. Next job is we are today, and you are today, going to look at the roles that are on. It's not bread rolls like you eat, it's roles as in roles you're going to take on. People during the war. Okay, so there is children being evacuated, mothers evacuating children, families receiving a child, so someone who lives in the countryside who's going to get someone else's child, a government group coordinating evacuation, so you're somebody who works officially, or a billeting officer. Okay, and they were the people in charge of saying where the children went to. That's quite a complex role and takes a bit more research because we haven't looked at that before, have we? What you're going to do is use the model text as a starting point, but also we're going to do some research about our role, and then at the end of the session we are going to put a presentation on Seesaw giving 3 examples of whether you think you should evacuate or you shouldn't evacuate, or whether you do want to receive children or you don't want to receive children. So if you decide you're going to be a child being evacuated, you're going to decide whether you want to be evacuated or you don't want to be evacuated. Yeah? And then you're going to think of 3 reasons to support that argument. So it's not a balanced argument, remember it's persuasion. We're doing a persuasive writing, so you need to think of 3 reasons and give me details about why you should or shouldn't be evacuated. The same if you were a mother, if you want to take on the mother role and you're going to evacuate, your child's going to be evacuated, if you can decide whether you're going to be for the evacuation or against the evacuation. Okay, it's up to you. Same if you were going to be the family receiving. You would decide whether actually you think it's a really good idea that you're going to get someone else's child, or whether you don't think it's a good idea you're going to get someone else's child. Because remember, you would be forced to probably have that child at the time. You weren't forced, you'd be persuaded to have that child. And then the government group coordinating the evacuation, which is very similar to your model text. So actually if you're struggling a little bit, I'm not quite sure, you could be that one, because the model text tells you is try and persuade, but you could then see it from a different point of view. But you actually, the government wanted you to evacuate, so you would always do a for that. You would never do against evacuation, because that's not what the government decided. And the billeting officer, but like I say, if you're going to do the billeting officer, you're going to have to do a lot more research into it about their job and their role and everything else. Doesn't have to be written down, but you've got your jotters if you want to write some notes of your reasons, and then you can record it on Seesaw under the activity, and the children in school are going to do the same, so we have them all under the activity together so I can have a look through them. Any problems, let me know.